from MetalTalk. We're here with the amazing Andrew Freeman from Last in Line, frontman and of course fantastic singer.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
So, halfway through the tour, how's it going?
Cranky.
Cranky?
Cranky and tired and
That's not
pissy, all the adjectives you can think of.
You need coffee, man.
I had some coffee, that's the problem, and I went right back to sleep after the coffee, so,
Any highlights, any anecdotes?
Yeah, we had a really great show in Belfast. I think that was the best one so far. Belfast was a good show. It's Viv's hometown, so it's always a little bit more friendly, I guess, a little friendlier. And but we always have good shows there. It's kind of like a second home to us. Between out west in the U.S. and here. So, but Scotland was good last night. We played Troon last night. It was a big crowd. It was amazingly Scottish and amazingly fickle.
Did you understand any of what they were saying?
Yeah. I mean, my family comes from Kilmarnock and
oh, right.
Yeah, so it's not. My grandmother had a little slight accent, and her brothers all had it too. So it's we're, I guess, 3 generations diluted from Govan. So.
Do you speak any of it?
I don't speak any of it, no. But I do appreciate when I see a lot of people there that look like my relatives, and have the same disposition, And somebody's walking down the street and cursing at their kids. Like, oh, that's what I do with mine. So it's a good time. We had a good time. So it's a good show.
Excellent. So you're a busy guy.
I try to be, yeah.
Last in Line.
Yeah.
What else do you do?
What else is going on right now? I'm doing a show, just kind of subbing on a show in Vegas called Tenors of Rock, which is 4 singers from a TV show here called X Factor. They were on X Factor a while back.
Oh yeah, we know it well.
Yeah, they were on that, and they've been doing a show in Vegas for about 3 years. So I just kind of joined them, and I'm doing sporadic stuff. I'll be doing more when this tour is over. I'll be more full time with them. But as far as future goes, I don't know. We haven't really discussed it. I'm the American guy in the group of Brits, so that's kind of like I am here.
You always seem to work with Brits. Is there a preference?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. It's definitely a different vibe, and they don't tend to be as needy as some of my American counterparts. Yeah, so because I'm needy enough, I don't.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, but I know somebody I had a discussion with the other day said the sarcasm and they were over the sarcasm of the British musicians, but I'm
Absolutely.
not. Or whatever it is, I don't know what that person said. I was talking to you the other day, but it's not so much that I know. It's not so much that I dislike that work with Americans. It's just that I tend to. It's just where I've been going.
I was talking about the passive aggressive and love sarcasm.
Passive aggressive. That was that was the word. Yeah, that was the description. Yeah.
People are not supposed to know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, but now they know.
Now the world knows.
But you know what? The grass is always greener. When you have something, and then you always want something different, because grass is greener on every side.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you've been in the Offspring. Obviously, you've done your solo stuff as well, correct?
Yeah. I did Offspring for
some Vegas shows.
Yeah.
Right in the Rock Vault. Yes.
Yeah, I did that. I've been out of that for about a year.
Are you still doing that?
No, God, I got fired last year.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's what happens when they don't pay you. They stop paying you, and then you go, "Hey, where's my money?" And they go, "Oh, you're fired." So.
Did I read that right? That Simon Cowell was kind of behind it?
No, it's Simon Cowell. Simon Napier Bell.
Okay.
Simon Napier Bell was the manager of. He was the original manager of the Yardbirds years ago. Big music mogul. Discovered Wham. Sinead O'Connor. He was a pretty big deal. He's been around since the '60s. So, super nice guy. Me leaving had absolutely nothing to do with him. I don't really know what the infrastructure of that show is anymore. So I've been out for a while, but I did it for about 6 years, so 6-7 years. So,
I mean, I was reading up and researching a bit and stuff, and you were talking about 1,000 shows.
Well, I did 1,000 shows with them. Yeah, over 1,000 shows.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a good time, and it's a home local gig, and it was fun while it lasted. But those days are over now. So it's just not, it's not being managed well. It's and it's not making money, and it's from what I understand, in my understanding of it, and a lot of the people that are involved in the show are doing management a favor by letting them kind of float their pay for it. You know, there's a group of us that were there from day one, and we put a lot of work in the show. We built it, you know, to what it was, and because you know, we walked in, there was no plan. It was just a set list, and we just started, you know, doing this.
Oh,
you
impressive!
Know, yeah.
I mean, you got some big names there. There's like Doug Aldrich.
Yep. You know, Doug was in and out. You know, he wasn't there he was there for a few years, but you know, there's a certain core band that doesn't in my opinion, gets taken advantage of, and they don't get their due, and when they complain about it, you know, they get threatened to be fired, and so I just had enough. I was done, so yeah, I got out. So yeah.
Onwards and upwards.
Onward and upward, exactly. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life, but you know, so.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously different guys. Is there anything that you prefer, or you're just kind of a bit of a chameleon? Basically, you just.
I guess I'm a bit of a chameleon. I guess you kind of, as you know, you just kind of learn to kind of roll with things, and if you want to work as a musician, you know, if you're writing your own stuff and it's not always successful, and it's a struggle sometimes. So it takes a few years to get something going. You say tomorrow you want to start a new band, well, it's going to take at least 2 years to get it out, you know, unless you work on it every day and get a record recorded and whatever. To build any sort of a following, it's going to take a while. So I kind of became a bit of a chameleon because I wanted to earn money while I was doing it. I wanted to kind of experience everything, like, oh, I can do that. And I kind of went through this phase too where I became this yes man for everybody. I just had this idea that I'm just going to say yes to everything that comes through. So, and that kind of worked, but I also picked up some gigs I didn't really like, and if I didn't like them, I just got out, you know, but it worked to the point where, who is that? What are you doing? What's going on?
Do you want food?
All right. Yes, I want food, yeah.
I think someone's hungry.
Huh? I already told you, didn't I?
Well, fish and fried rice? No, what?
No, the chicken tikka masala. Right in the middle of a fucking interview here.
But later. But now I'm talking.
Yeah, just get it now and I'll have it for later.
It's okay, we let it.
Sorry.
No problem.
Okay.
So gonna publish all that, by the way.
Sorry.
No
so
problem.
we were in the middle of what? Yeah. So I just, like I said, I became this yes man, and I decided I do tribute bands, I do cover bands, I do original bands, I do whatever, you know, just to try it out, just to, and I think it was more of a middle-aged panic, you know, to try to get something going. So, yeah. So I'll do whatever. I guess I am a bit of a chameleon. Yeah. So I like doing covers. I like doing my own stuff too. So.
Are you still writing your own material?
Oh yeah. For this band?
No, I mean your own.
For myself? Yeah. I mean, I don't sit down and go, I'm going to write a song for myself. I've been doing projects lately where I'm not a great writer on my own. Excuse me. I need a writing partner. You know, it's just if I'm writing the music, I'll probably need somebody else to write the lyrics. You know, so I don't have to do both. I find that very overwhelming.
Because you're obviously a guitarist and bass player, right?
Yeah.
You play anything else? I saw you playing the keyboard.
I do a little of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can.
You did write that line.
I can do it. I did. Yeah, I can do it.
You did. You wrote it. It's yours.
I can do it with Pro Tools if I can fix the notes, and I can, you know, I don't know if I could do it during the show. I know I did. I was supposed to do it with Offspring, but we just never. The song I was supposed to play, we never did. So I'm not trained, but I could. If it's a simple enough keyboard line, which usually is popular music, is simple keyboard lines. You know, it's like nursery rhymes.
Yet effective.
Yet effective, yeah, exactly. Then
hook, as they call it.
Yeah, the hook, yeah, right. So there was an Offspring song that they wanted to do, and it had a keyboard line in it. And they're like, oh, here's the keyboard, play the part. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need a day, you know, to do that. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I meant to ask in Last in Line, so what's the writing process? In fact, I should ask you this first. How did you join the band? How did they find you, or did you find them? Or?
No, I played with Vinny in Lynch Mob in like 2005, 2006. And we little bit of touring in that band, and then Vinny left. I did another year with George, and then I left. So, and then I went on and I joined Offspring. But and then Vinny actually got back together with Heaven Hell, and so it was a good 10-year period or so, maybe less.
Vinny, how do you pronounce it?
Vinny Appice.
Appice.
Yeah.
See, I'm Italian. We say apice.
Yeah,
so
yeah. That's actually, he'll tell you a whole story about it. His brother pronounces it like that.
Carmine. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. He's got.
Sounds like it's probably from my area, my neck of the woods.
Where's
Carmine
that?
is Napoli.
Napoli?
Naples.
It might be.
Yeah.
It might be.
Which, by the way, was your ex-record label. We'll come to that in a minute. Carry on,
Yes,
sorry.
yes. Yeah. So, yeah, they're from Naples. Yeah, that's right. What was I saying? I was talking about something. I can't remember what it was.
How you came together with Lesson Line.
Oh, Lesson Line, right.
Yeah.
Oh, that, yeah.
So you used to play with Vinny.
I used to play with Vinny and Lynch Mob, and then,
with Greg Lynch from Dokken.
yes, with George Lynch from Dokken.
George, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. No worries.
Names.
We don't need to talk about him.
we talk about you.
So he called me, or just he emailed me out of the blue, and we'd stayed friends over the years, and I ran into him. I was singing with Jimmy Bain and Craig Goldie and some drummer in L.A., and we were doing some cover gig somewhere, and he was doing a drum lesson next door, and I hadn't seen him in a few years, and he's like, "Oh, you sound great, oh, cool." And he didn't know it was me. He's like, "Who the fuck is singing those songs in there?" He walked in, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I didn't know it was you." So about maybe 4 months later, he sent me an email and said, "Hey, Vivian contacted me. We're going to get together, and the old band's going to get together and just jam if you want to come down and sing a couple songs. I don't know where we're going with it, but you're welcome to come down." I said, "Yeah, sure. I have a session on this date. It's 2 weeks. I'm blocked out for these 2 weeks. Can't do it those 2 weeks. Any other time, no problem."
Typical.
Yeah. Email. We're doing it in this day, which was like the second day of the session. So I got out, and it was just across town in LA from where the studio was. So it was about a 10-minute drive. So I rushed over there between.
Did you cancel the session?
No, I did the session.
You did both.
Yeah, I just said, "Hey, I gotta go. I gotta do this thing." Is it okay? They're like, "Yeah, well," because I was doing all these vocal tracks with this studio band. It was like Leland Sklar, bass player, and Tim Pierce and Simon Phillips, drummer, and what's his name, Roger Manning from Jellyfish, and we were just recording all these cover songs for something, and it was in the middle of that. So I said, "Hey," so we would record it. I'd sing the guide vocal, and then they'd start tracking other things, like they'd fix the guitars or whatever. So there was always like a 2-hour window between starting a new song. So I did my thing and I ran. I was like, "I gotta go." All right, cool. So I ran out, and then they text me when it was time to.
Did you go back after?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Yeah, they said, "Hey, we're gonna start up again in about half an hour." I said, "Great." So
I'll be there.
Yeah,
Fly.
I literally walked in. I did 3 songs with those guys, and never met Vivian before. I knew everybody else, but came into the 3 songs and left. And they're like, "Oh, okay," But I told myself I have the session. I have to.
I thought you were a massive Def Leppard fan.
I do love Def Leppard, yeah.
And you didn't know.
I'd never met them before,
Amazing.
yeah.
Would you have thought that you would ever be in a band with him?
No. I mean, I, at that point, I didn't rule anything out, because I played with a lot of bigger players, But I was, again, I'm more of a plumber musician. That's my term for myself. I just like to, I'm the guy who does the job. I come in, I do the work, and I leave. I don't cause any trouble. I just come in, do what I have to do, do it correctly, and then I get out. So I did a lot of that type of work. That's why I got hired for that session I was doing. It was all these just high-end, big-name studio cats in LA, that have been doing it for years. And I walked in and did my thing with them, and it was great. So I kind of got used to playing with, I didn't know who I was going to be playing with. That's how it is out there, And I think it's like that in London too, where you just never know who you're going to be jamming with or who you're going to run into in Starbucks or in the supermarket or whatever. So no, it didn't really surprise me. I mean, it was cool because he was, one of the guys I did look up to when I was a guitar player coming up, and learned some of the solos note for note, and even to this day, there's licks that he does that I do, that I completely ripped off from him. These little string skipping things that he does, and I'll hear it and I go, "Oh, that's my lick."